The first duty of government is to protect our rights.
It's our job to maintain the proper role of government in what we were tasked to do.
Obviously, we over budgeted last year. I hate to say that I was right, but I was right. So.
And I think that that's what we need to look at more, is trying to get back to what we used to be, where our churches and our families took care of each other instead of relying on the state.
And we have no way to maintain control over the spending of this program, and it will be a disaster for this state long term.
But we have a whole gamut of kids whose parents would like to do something for them and they cannot.
I take our constitutional rights, the constitutional rights of my constituents, very seriously.
This is simply about putting it out of reach of young, innocent, vulnerable children and making our libraries and schools a safe place for them to go.
And I am increasingly frustrated that we cannot stop ourselves from drinking at the public trough.
He's sounding the alarm. He's saying if we don't address these issues, we potentially might have greater problems moving forward.
Mr. Speaker, no matter how you look at it, no matter how you boil this down, there is never any time that a parent's right to govern what their children see and what they're exposed to should ever be bypassed.
If I was looking at a business and I was looking at these figures, there would be heads rolling because this is unsustainable.
We're supposed to be bottom-up government. We're supposed to be representing my citizens' ideas and your citizens' ideas, and we're supposed to be discussing them and debating them to come to a conclusion.
We need to start making Idaho first. We need to start making America first.
We need to be protecting our First Amendment rights, not inventing ways to slowly chip away at them.
The First Amendment and our freedom of religion, freedom of speech are our first liberties. They are so important. We don't have the rest without them.
Trying to get a visual on the rear plate as the car's going the other way and you're reading it reversed or inverted, if you will, in your side mirror is darn near impossible. There have been times where the only information we had with respect to identifying a suspect vehicle was the license plate. There's a sound requirement for having a front plate. It is absolutely essential to law enforcement. If we're in pursuit of a suspect that allegedly just raped somebody, robbed a bank, committed an armed robbery, and I've pursued people in all of those situations, having that front plate is extremely important to law enforcement. Now, granted, it kind of messes up the looks of the front of some of the cars. I've owned cars that didn't have provision for a front plate, but you don't have to drill holes. There's ways to attach plates either magnetically or with sticky materials or with some sort of lanyard that you can put on and not deface the front of your car. But I think it is absolutely essential that we preserve the requirement for a front plate. And as far as the enforcement aspect, our department did enforce it. I used to pull people over for not having a front plate or for having the front plate displayed in a manner that's not in accordance with Title 49 Idaho Code. Having your front plate on your dashboard doesn't cut it. I can't read it if it's inside your vehicle. Our department did enforce that. Also, if your plate's obstructed by mud or snow, people would be pulled over and instructed to clean the plate. It's important when we're looking for a suspect vehicle. I understand the intent behind the bill, and it's sound. And again, the first part is just fine, but it's necessary to assist law enforcement in every way possible if you want bad actors taken out of circulation, and having a front plate greatly assists us in doing that. So I will not be able to support the bill. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Is there further debate?
Mr. President,
Senator Kaiser.
debate in favor of the bill.
You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I like this bill. I'm in support. I just want to point out that when you're driving 60 miles an hour in the opposite direction of a vehicle going 60 miles an hour, it's also very hard to actually read the plate for those that do have a front license plate. You can't stop and take the time to look at each letter. But also, if you do have a description or a license plate of a vehicle, it's going to give you a description of the type of vehicle that's used, which is typically what you're looking for when you're out there on patrol. So I think that it's an appropriate bill. We don't need to require every vehicle to then physically damage their vehicle to attach a license plate. I would urge your aye vote.
Is there further debate?
Mr. President.
Senator Guthrie.
Mr. President, will the senator from 3 yield to a question?
Senator Okonowicz, will you yield to a question?
Senator yields.
Senator yields.
Mr. President, Senator from 3, on page 2, lines, starting on line 12, where the new language is incorporated, license plates assigned to a motor vehicle shall be attached, one in the front, and then the new language, if the vehicle is equipped with the front license plate mounting bracket. So what that says to me is that all I have to do is take my mounting bracket off, and now I'm exempt as well. And so you could theoretically have everyone just taking that mounting bracket off that comes on your car. Is that the way, the intent, or the way you read this?
Senator Okonowicz.
Mr. President, no, that's not the way I would read this. I would read that as saying if it's equipped, it means it's had one. If you've tampered with it, then I think it would be tampered with. So I don't think it would be read that way. And frankly, if, like lots of bills, if we needed to clean some stuff up in coming years, we always have the ability to do so.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator from 3.
Is there further debate?
Mr. President,
Shippey.
to debate the bill.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am having a hard time with this bill, as the question was raised earlier from the senator from 28. That if somebody's a bad actor and they're wanting to keep their identity hidden from oncoming police traffic, they would just have to remove the bracket and they would be exempt as well in this. If we're acknowledging that it's really not that important to have a front license plate by exempting some, of course we're creating winners and losers here on some level, but we're acknowledging that it's arbitrary that we require a front plate. There's really no particular reason except that some just prefer not to have a front plate. If current law enforcement is not enforcing it, that's really not the legislature's issue. In my mind, we have to treat things fairly and justly and evenly across the board. And so I don't particularly have a problem with removing the requirement for a front plate. I would just say let's do it across the board and make it fair, so that one is not committing a crime and another is completely exempt because they simply have removed the bracket. So I will be opposing this legislation.
Mr. President.
Senator Anthony.
In favor of the bill?
You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. You know, we get pieces of legislation, and I've said this many times, they are complicated in that they come with pluses and minuses. And then our vote is simple, it's yes or no. And that's what I see in this piece of legislation. I think that many of the senators today have been able to articulate very well the pluses and minuses. For me, the pluses of this bill come in the first part. They're talking about protecting private information. They're talking about putting protections for Idahoans in place on the government so that when they are using new technology and gathering up information about you as you drive down the street, that information is protected. That to me is a pretty important thing in this bill. I think we as a legislature are going to have to continue to face those issues. The technology is going to almost outpace our ability to legislate. And so I think that is a very, very important part of the bill as we tackle the automated license plate reader issue. That's a very important part of this legislation. I think that's a plus that will outweigh the negatives in this bill for me. So I'll be supporting the legislation. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Is there further debate?
Mr. President.
Senator Nichols.
Debate the bill.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I also really like the security portion of this, the privacy sections. I think that is a huge portion. And with the development of AI technology, you know that we're just going to continue to go down this road, and that automation, readers, all those sorts of things are going to just get smarter and be able to gather information. So I think this is a good step to protecting that. I also wanted to point out that there's at least 20 states that don't require front license plates at this time. And it does not seem like they're having any, out of the ordinary type issues going on. So this is not a new concept. It happens in a lot of other states. And we have people right now in our own state that don't put front license plates on. So I think this is a good measure for safety and security. And I also think it cleans up some of the current code. And like I said, other states already do this, and I don't see any issues that are going on there. So I'll be supporting this legislation.
Is there further debate? Hearing none. Senator Okonowicz, you have the floor to close the debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, everyone, for the debate. I don't think there's really anything I can add to that. I think we've covered everything. I'm always amazed at which bills get the most attention and debate. This, once again, surprised. But I think everything's been said that can be said, so debate's closed.
Debate is closed. The question before the Senate is, shall Senate Bill 1180 pass the Senate? The Senate Secretary will poll the members.
Adams. Anthony. Burned. Bierke. Blaylock. Burtonshaw. Carlson. Cook. Den Hartog. Foreman. Galloway. Grove. Guthrie. Harris. Hart. Kaiser. Cole. Lakey. Lenny. Lent. Nichols. Okonowitz. Ricks. Ruckty. Semoroff. Shippey. Taylor. Taves. Van Orden. Bordinkel-King. Wintrow. Bowler. Woodward. Cito. Zeiderveld. Lent. Ruckty.
The vote count shows 25 in favor with 10 against, a majority having voted in the affirmative. Senate Bill 1180 is passed the Senate. Hearing no correction of the title is approved. The bill be transmitted to the House of Representatives.
In District 6, the Palouse groundwater basin, which affects all of eastern Washington, northern Idaho, particularly in Moscow, Idaho. That aquifer has been going down a foot a year. And they are talking right now, there is a committee that is set up with university folks, with business folks, with people on that are very knowledgeable, much more than me, on this topic. But I've gone to some of their meetings and I've listened, and it is a huge problem in Latah County. We are one of the ideas, and if you know the Palouse and you know the geography, Moscow is substantially higher than where Lewiston is and where we have an abundance of water with our Snake River. But they are talking about putting an awful large straw into the Snake River at Lewiston and pumping it to Moscow because the aquifer is going down so substantially. So I want to say, folks in the north, we have issues. They're different issues than our good friends are facing in Southeast Idaho. But let's not think we don't have them, because we certainly do. So I apologize for getting up for the second time, but I felt that this was not being said, and I wanted you to know of the issues that we are facing in the north. So North Idaho folks, North Central Idaho folks, We need to be cognizant of what the needs are across the entire state, because it's going to be us asking for money at some point in the future. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate the time.
For the debate for the second time, gentleman 27.
Mr. Speaker, a second word from an elephant in the room.
Good for you, good gentleman. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think the gentleman from 7 brings up a good point. Probably been very much overlooked in this discussion. The private investment in this infrastructure is enormous. My family alone participated in a multi-million-dollar project, entirely privately funded, over 10 miles of pipeline from the Snake River out into the Golden Valley area. A 3-foot pipe, thousands of gallons of water to recharge our aquifer, private expense. The billions of dollars in the ag economy has been referenced, money that may be available for this. The farmers receive 14 cents of every dollar in those commodities. The rest is value added. That's new economic product that's generated by this water that can have value added like 7 times turns over in the economy. It's unbelievable. It's not a service. It's not a hotel. It's not a gas pump. It's not somebody selling you a Twinkie at the local service station. This is new economic activity that this water produces. And it's a good point, because maybe we should toot our horn a little more often. But millions and millions of dollars of private equity investment has been made in these water infrastructure projects. And the fact of the matter is, whether you want to hear it or not, the state is complicit in part of this problem for over-appropriating the water. So as a private property right owner to water rights, the state has over-appropriated the resource, and it's affecting my property rights. The state needs to come in and take responsibility for over-appropriating the water, if that's in fact what has happened. And that requires investment. And that's what we're talking about here. So I appreciate your green light.
For debate for the second time, gentleman 26.
For debate the second time, sir.
Gentleman has the floor.
Somehow I think through all this discussion, we've missed a couple of really important points. One, the Colorado and the Ogallala system are not part of the, they don't have any water. They're running out of it. We do have the water, and I would hope here toward May sometime to have a press conference on the overlook of the Hanson Bridge and look down at the water that's being spilled over Milner, that basically we're letting slip between our fingers and we're not putting to use. The reservoirs are full. We have a good snowpack this year. Sadly, in May, when we spill water, it doesn't generate power that we need. It doesn't flush salmon. It's pretty much just gone. And it's, when you live in the water world, it's really apparent. But if you're not in that world, I guess it needs said again, we're wasting that water because we haven't invested in this infrastructure. When we have a drought, yeah, it's over appropriated. I would expect we spill several 100,000 acre feet this year, which if you look at last year, that was the basis of the whole water call. So this, once again, is simply taking care of our future.
Debate second time, gentleman 28.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to debate a second time.
Has the floor.
Thank you. The lady from 32 in her debate jogged my memory. I was born and raised over the Ogallala Aquifer, and I was disheartened about a year ago to read when I was looking into the water issues in Idaho. The Ogallala Aquifer runs from northern Texas and the Oklahoma Panhandle across eastern Colorado, western Kansas, up into Nebraska. It's the largest aquifer in the United States. Unfortunately, current predictions say it will run dry in the 2030s. That aquifer produces 30% of the foodstuffs for the United States. It's a huge area, but not very deep, and it's running out. They have no replenishment sources to replenish that aquifer. And irrigation and use of it for agriculture, for cultural water, whatever you want to use, is running out. The unique geography of Idaho provides us with snowpack in the winter that we can use to recharge our aquifer. That doesn't exist many other places. As the gentleman from 26 mentioned, we've heard the problems in the Colorado River, the Ogallala Aquifer. Water is a precious resource, and we have it here. We have more than we can use in the spring, and that's what we're going to use to help recharge the existing aquifer in the East Snake Plain. This is the opportunity to get ahead of that before we reach a crisis situation like has existed in other areas of our country. I urge your green light.
Even the computers had enough. Further debate on the motion. Good for the second time. Gentleman 25.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think there's a lot of debate against the second time. Thank you. I think there's a lot of misconceptions where people are taking this as the individuals are standing on this principle of not voting for this bill as being against farmers, being against agriculture. We are not against farmers. We are not against agriculture. We are not against water infrastructure projects. What it boils down to is the accountability behind this money. It's the fiscal responsibility. It's our duty to oversee this money. This is what we need to go and be looking at, is how can we go and have that transparency? How can we have that accountability? To me, it's irresponsible for us to go and spend that money without having that oversight. I would love to vote for something like this, but I also want to see what the money's going towards. I want to see the actual projects, where the money's being appropriated. That way we can have that oversight, we can have that accountability, and we can ensure that we're spending the taxpayers' money appropriately, because ultimately it is the citizens' money we are using.
For the debate for the second time. Hearing none, with the good lady of 32, please close this painful debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And thank you. I had no idea that this would be this long of a debate, but I am grateful because this is so critical. I think everyone here knows that I think people, especially children, are Idaho's most important resource, but water is next. We can't live here without it. In response to debate, just a couple of quick things. The FTPs, again, are a direct result of a policy change this body made. The budget growth paragraph, I would like to point out that some people like to do their accounting differently than the government does. I have no problem with that. But if you're going to measure budget growth of a government budget, you need to use government accounting. So if you take the base from FY24 to the FY26 base, which is an apples to apples comparison, that's a 5.7% base increase. So if you're going to compare, again, if you're going to measure growth, use the government accounting structure, not comparing it to the proposed original, a base to a proposed original appropriation. Those are two different numbers. Again, very little of this money, that's why I handed out the list of projects, so y'all can see. This is not a secret. If you're not knowing what these projects are, it's only because you're not looking. Here they are. And you can see on there that hundreds of millions of dollars have gone to projects all over the state. I've supported every dime of that, even though it didn't personally benefit my people, but it's important to the state of Idaho. And the same is true of this one. As was pointed out, funding will be matched by water districts and other private entities, including farmers. So this is this will have a multiplier effect. I think as far as accountability, the only thing I would add to that is that you can see, again, the use of the funds in Section 7. Appointments to the Water Board are confirmed by the Senate. If you think this is on autopay or a blank check, then you're not reading the appropriation bills. I have to. Maybe y'all don't. Maybe you just look at the statement of purpose, and that's a great summary. But if you actually read the appropriation bills, you can see where the money's going. It also implies that the legislature is powerless to hold people accountable. We're not. We can do subpoenas. We can demand reports. We can compel agencies to attend hearings. We can adopt law specifically stating what our priorities are, and we do. You'll see that report is required on page 3, lines 11 through 17. So with that, Mr. Speaker, thank you for the debate. This is a bill that's important to those of us who had ancestors who settled Idaho, but more importantly, to our children and grandchildren, no matter where they live. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Case closed. Question yes, House Bill 445 pass the House. Clerk will mark the machine. Members will cast their votes. Has every member voted? Alfieri? Does any member wish to change their vote? Clerk will lock the machine and report the pairs.
Galaviz votes aye. Thompson votes nay.
56 ayes, 13 nay, 1 absent, and excused. Majority of the House having voted in favor of House Bill 445. House Bill 445 is passed. House. Correction title.
No correction to title.
That is title approved. Bill be transferred to the Senate.
Worked at Target for 2 years. She loves to read and study political science and criminology. She's working on dual credits from CWI. She wants to get a degree in political science. Maddox's mom is from Boise. His favorite classes are science, chemistry, math, and American and European history. He's in the Vinyl Records Club. He particularly likes to listen to the Beatles and Led Zeppelin. He is a member of the Green Club. He likes to golf, play baseball, fish, and hike. He enjoys reading, drawing, watching TV, and movies. He will attend the University of Idaho to take pre-med courses in hopes of becoming a surgeon. And those of you who are on JFAC understand how committed the page has to be in JFAC. They do not do much socializing. They mostly just hang out with you committee members, and he's done such a good job. Thank you, Maddox. Declan Nash is from Meridian. Declan likes math and writing. He's involved in a theater group, a theater co-op that puts on original plays. He plays the drums and is a particularly talented pianist. We had a piano in here for a program, and I needed someone to test it out and see if it was put together the way it needed to be. And oh, I could not believe the beautiful music he was playing. He's very, very talented. He really likes hanging out with his father, visiting or watching sports together. He's halfway through his associate's degree at CWI. Upon completion of that degree, he will attend NNU. Declan. That had a great job, Declan. Thank you. Boston Young is from Meridian. Boston is involved in AP government classes, speech, and debate in his school. He also does track and field and golf. He's interested in government. He likes to bike and hike and play play the football video game Madden with his dad. He likes to fly fish, and he built his own rod in school. He's particularly excited about serving a mission in Mexico for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He leaves July 14th. Upon his return, he will attend BYU. He wants to become a seminary or institute teacher. He loves Idaho. He wants to stay here. Boston. Okay, now they have a video for you that is unlike any other I've ever seen. It's going to be, I hope we're okay on it. They worked really hard on it. I will tell you that much. Thank you.
Sarah Jane, before we get to the video, I have a little presentation I'd like to give to each one of them as well, with everyone's indulgence. I have been around the pages for a while now and directly responsible for 10 years worth when I was the Speaker of the House and then here as well. I want to point out one thing to you. Remember the first day that you came to the as pages? Now, as you've heard, this is a very accomplished bunch of kids. But when you came the first day, you didn't emanate confidence. You were out of place. You were definitely out of your comfort zones. And now fast forward 6 weeks, you act like you own the place. And I think there's an important principle there. And it's encapsulated in a quote that I have here. My father made me memorize a lot of poetry. And there's 2 verses here in 2 different poems that I would like to give to you. One is, that which we persist in doing becomes easier to do. Not that the nature of the thing has changed, but our power to do it has increased. So the change happened with you guys. Now, this is a process that can repeat itself time after time after time. These senators are evidence of that. They came outside of their comfort zone as well. And now many of them act like they own the place. And so that's a principle I want you to remember as you go out into the world. And then never forget this one. The great heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards in the night. Work hard, nothing will replace hard work. We're on many levels jealous of the many opportunities that you all have ahead of you. Please make us all proud. Count us as your support group as you go forward. We can also write letters of recommendation. So thank you for your service here to the State Senate.
And I'd just like to thank the senators and the lieutenant governor also. You're just deeply interested in these pages and their success. And I see you helping them to move forward and gain some advantages in life. And thank you so much for your support of them. Thank you.
Emma. I'm a part of the Senate Page program. This is our 6th week, and I really liked the experience of how the bills work and learning the thoughts and ideas behind them. And it's just been a really good experience behind the scenes of the Idaho legislature, and I just really loved it.
Hi, my name is Calvin. I'm on the Transportation Committee of the Idaho Senate, and I live up by Court Lane. The fun fact about me is I have 10 other siblings, and I live on a ranch.
My name is Elise Ballard. I'm part of the Agricultural Affairs Committee. I'm from Fairfield, Idaho, and I love playing guitar.
Hi, my name is Declan. I'm from Meridian. The committee that I page on is Commerce and Human Resources. And the most important thing that I learned while I was here was watching all of the legislators get along with each other, even when they disagree on things.
I'm Ava Larson. I live in Nampa.
I am in the Judiciary and Rules Committee, and I really like travel and hope to travel to different countries to teach English in the future.
Hi, my name is Ainsley Braithwaite. I'm on the Education Committee. I'm from Idaho Falls, and I want to be an orthodontist when I grow up.
My name is Shiley Johnson. I'm a page for the State Affairs Committee. I'm from McCammon, and something that I've learned while being here is I've been able to interact with senators and government officials, improving my communication and professional skill set.
Hi, my name is Lucy Barton. I am part of the Resources and Environment Committee. I'm from Preston, and a fun fact about me is I have a twin sister.
My name is Maddox. I'm with JFAC. I'm from Boise, and I have 2 younger brothers.
Hi, my name is Aaliyah Ferrara. I'm the page for the Local Government and Taxation Committee, and I'm from Nampa, Idaho. And my favorite part about being here is talking to everyone and wasting time by talking so I don't have to do my job.
Hey, I'm Boston Young. I'm a Senate page. I'm in the State Affairs and Health and Welfare Committee. And one of my favorite things about being a page is working with all of the senators and learning about how real change can be brought at the local and state level.
Okay, so these are civics exam questions, and these are like the top 10 hardest ones.
Nine. Because I don't know. Okay. I mean, I can look it up. I'm pretty sure it's either 8 or 9. Yeah. 1 Chief Justice and 8 Associate Justices. Yep. I'm a criminal justice major, so I should know that.
How many amendments does the Constitution have?
Why are you asking me these questions like Well, the Bill of Rights has 10, and then after that, is it 24?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Name one of the 2 longest rivers in the United States.
Mississippi, and then Lake Powell. Like, I don't know. I feel like those 2 are pretty accurate.
Can you name one of the writers of the Federalist Papers?
I cannot.
Oh.
Yeah, see? I don't read it.
I haven't either. Who is the Chief Justice of the United States right now?
Chief Justice is John, not John Marshall.
No.
Roberts, yeah. I always get that mixed up. John Marshall, I was going to say, it's John Roberts, right? Yeah.
Who was the president during the Great Depression in World War II?
In World War II? Oh, Hoover. Oh no, Great Depression, World War II. Roosevelt?
Can you name one of the 2 longest rivers in the United States?
If you didn't know, as far as I know.
Yeah, it's
The House of Representatives has how many members?
I have no idea. Twice as many as the Senate.
Yeah.
70. Is it 70? Okay.
Do you know one of the writers of the Federalist Papers?
Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah. Name one of the 2 longest rivers in the United States.
The United States. Mississippi.
When was the Constitution written?
1787.
Okay.
The House of Representatives has how many members?
In the state of Idaho, 70.
What is the rule of law?
The rule of law is following what the law states and relying on the court system, the judicial system.
Thank you. Who was the president during World War I?
Guys, I haven't been in high school in like 7 years. 6 years. Not that long. Oh, it wasn't. No, after that was. I see his face. I don't know who it is. Who is it?
What is the rule of law?
So the rule of law
is natural law that is dictated by divine law, which is instituted by God, which is written on the hearts of men, and by their conscience know that like murdering someone is wrong. And that's given by divine natural law that we can understand through logic and the conscience that the Lord has blessed us with. And so that is the rule of law that we fall under and are supposed to follow.
How many justices are on the Supreme Court?
9.
Okay. Who's the Chief Justice of the United States?
John Roberts.
Who was president during Great Depression, World War II?
Oh, Hoover.
And
FDR.
who was president during World War One?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, who was that? Coolidge? No. Who was it? Someone. Krista, do you know who? I know this. Oh, God, I know this.
I'm just gonna start naming them. Truman.
No, that's 2. Those 2.
Starts with a W. Woodrow.
Woodrow Wilson. Yes.
Name one of the 2 longest rivers in the United States.
Oh, Columbia.
What?
Mississippi.
Yeah.
I don't know. Cut that part
And
out.
Minnesota. Is it
Will you
Minnesota
cut that part out?
It's the Missouri. Yeah, it's Missouri and
I'm
Mississippi.
thinking Lewis and Clark. Columbia.
How many amendments does the Constitution have?
27.
Name one of the writers of the Federalist Papers.
Benjamin Franklin.
No.
Hamilton?
That's.
Yes.
Oh my God.
What?
The House of Representatives on the federal level has how many
435.
members? What's the rule of law?
The Constitution.
When was the Constitution written?
1776. No, yeah. No, that was the Declaration of Independence. 1787.
I'm wondering if you could sign this old picture.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Oh, that is an excellent choice.
Heard you check that. Someone's up to trouble.
Trying to move for me. Is that you? Yeah.
Oh, that is adorable.
Look it up. I feel really good. Oh, yeah. That's my mom. That is Sign it. You have to. Beautiful.
Oh, looky there. Wow.
Where'd you get that? Those are good old days.
No. Looks great. 10 out of 10. Thank you.
No.
Sign it.
How do you dial my mom's
Wait,
Facebook?
we know.
Wow, that was a while ago. I had a different name back then.
Oh, actually, what was it?
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. It brings back a lot of memories. It's crazy.
Holy cow. That was a while ago.
Oh my gosh. Where'd you find that? You want me to sign it? Like an actual autograph? Okay.
Got a climber shot?
That's my high school.
Of course, obvious. Oh yeah, nice. Doug in high school? Yeah. Let me see. Wow, you were jacked in high school. That's last year. Yeah, right. Oh gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Never would I ever thought at this time I would be a senator.
Oh my God, where'd you get that? I'm amazed to see that thing.
Thank you so much.
Where did you get this? This is the only proof that I once had here. All right.
Where did you get that? Oh my God. Wow, that's creepy. Actually, really creepy that you even got that, because I wouldn't even know where to find this. That's a good looking guy, though. Still is. Handsome dude right there.
Oh my goodness, look how beautiful that is. Look at that hat.
It's a big old hat. Oh my goodness. I love this sign hat. No, I'm just left-handed. Okay. Why do I want to sign that? Just a mere child.
Listen, I'm gonna bring you my high school photos tomorrow. Got the big
Oh, Secretary, how'd you find it out?
So you look like a freaking baller back in the day.
No, the internet is a terrible place. The internet is a terrible place. Sorry, guys. You guys are terrible, terrible people. Oh, I love you guys.
Hey, well, that's fun. You know, I just got my haircut then too. It used to be almost as long as yours, Stacy. Really? Wow, I'm assuming this was probably 98. You guys cracked me.
Yeah.
Take that, Lenny.
Where did you get that?
It's a good picture.
Oh.
I was like, it's not gonna look that much different, right?
Really does.
Oh God, what is this?
Guys, can you sign this? That is funny. This is great. That's me running a marathon. And that was like mile 19 and I had just grown up. And my friend was like running with me and she took a picture. That's the picture of me like, okay, it's cute.
You went find it?
Yeah.
No, don't let it write down. Then we have to moderate.
Oh, wow. Oh, awesome. That's been a few years ago. Good looking guy there.
Where did you get that? Where did you get that? You're kidding me. Who is that handsome dude? Right, he'll be all over that book face tonight.
This one.
Where'd you find out? Not me.
No, it's you.
Tell me sign that, not me.
No, yeah, just mine was your signature.
You like my little fanny pack?
You look like a really like a dad in that.
There you go.
Oh my God. Where did you find that? On Facebook?
Nice.
There you go.
Oh, where'd you get those cute pictures? You want that big, thick pen? Where'd you go over everybody's yearbooks? That's what you've been doing, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, where did you find that? That is, I can't believe you did that. Oh my word. All right. You guys are very good investigators. And that wasn't my best picture, by the way. That's a terrible picture. Oh my gosh, what is this? Oh, you guys. This is ancient, whatever it is.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my goodness. I knew this was coming actually. Because when you guys asked what high school we were from, I immediately knew that you were going to go find our pictures.
Oh my gosh, you should come on.
Here you go.
That's the best you can do. Where did you get this? I don't even know what this picture's. Where is this from? I'm wearing a choker. Yep, no, you have.
Who is that?
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Where'd you guys? Payroll.
Senators, while we're at ease, I already had a suggestion from some folks with green tags that maybe a way to raise money would be to auction those photos off. So you might want to track down the pages and get a hold of those.
And the House Committee on Education will come to order. In the words of Aerosmith, we're back in the saddle again. So it looks like we have a quorum today. The Secretary take a silent roll, and we're ready for business. We do have some minutes, and we'd welcome a motion from Representative Tanner.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. I move that we accept the minutes or approve the minutes from March 26, 2025.
Thank you for that motion. Is there any discussion on the minutes committee? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries and they will be approved. We do have RS 32776. We welcome back Representative Miller.
Mike.
Oh yeah, flip your mic there.
Gotta appreciate the consistency.
You're up with the times. You're waiting for AI to turn that mic on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Representative Steve Miller, Legislative District 24. So just very brief changes. I think everybody's had a chance to look at it to clarify what we were talking about. And those are the only changes made to it. Everything else is the same.
Okay, thank you for that, Representative. Committee questions or motions for Representative Miller? Representative Sauter.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair and Representative Miller. You said changes. I've only identified one change, and that's on the first page. Is that correct?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So just a single change, just a few words in one sentence.
Yeah, just very minor.
Okay. Representative Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for motion.
Yes, please.
I move that we send RS 32776 to the floor with the second reading calendar.
Okay, it's been moved that we send RS 32776.
With a due pass.
Or that we introduce RS 32776 and recommend that it be placed on the second reading calendar with a due pass recommendation. Is that correct, Representative Harris?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for that motion. Any more discussion, or Representative Garner?
Chairman Pickett for a substitute motion.
Yes, that would be in order.
I move that we move RS 32776 to general orders.
Okay. I think we'd have to introduce it or return it, Representative.
Let's return it then.
Okay. Thank you. Further deliberation or motions? Representative Marmon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would love to see us going a lot further than this with launch, but unfortunately that's not coming up this year. I also wish that we were sending this to, bringing this before the public as a public hearing. But I understand at the late date that we're at in the session that that's not possible. I will be supporting this RS.
Okay, thank you. And just for the record, we did have the hearing on the bill, the original bill, and the chair recognizes this change is unsubstantial to the hearing, so we will just have the motion. Representative Tanner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to say that, just make a comment, that I'm going to support the original motion here this morning. But similar to what Representative Marvin was just saying, I wish we were doing some things different with this bill, perhaps next year, but I will support it to get it to the floor. I understand this is a better version of launch than what we previously had, so I'll support getting it to the floor.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Clow.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I support the original motion, and I believe that this is the best we can do at this point. There are a few things that I would like to see potentially more for the launch program, but this is a big improvement, and I wanted to make a comment, remind people the advisory board has limited roles. They don't take over for the Workforce Development Council, and I know there was some concerns yesterday expressed that it didn't specify party membership specifically, but neither does the Workforce Development Council. I read through that whole section, so of the 20-some members of that, there is no minimum or maximum number of Republicans or Democrats in that group. So I feel like this is a major improvement and addresses some of the concerns that I've previously expressed. So I'm in support of the bill.
Okay, we'll go Representative Hawkins and then Representative Sauter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to comment to my support of the original motion. Like others, and I think I mentioned this yesterday when we were looking at it in a slightly different form, I too would like to see more changes, but the changes I would like to see obviously are to rein in even further. And I think that this piece of legislation corrects some things that maybe got a little out of hand from the original, even though I didn't support the original, and it grew into areas it was never intended to go. And I believe this is a good course correction for that. And that's why I'll support the original motion.
Thank you. Representative Sauter.
Just for comment, we've now listened to 4 of our distinguished representatives that have all said we wish we could make changes to it. I'd support the second motion, and I do think we should make some changes to it. And now is the time to take care of it. I know we're on short time, but I'd rather see us do it now than kick it down the road to potentially next year. So that's my vote. Thank you.
Okay, Representative Marmon.
Mr. Chairman, the changes I want to make to it are not to this resolution, but to the launch program as it stands now. So it has nothing to do with this resolution. I support this resolution.
And Tanner?
Same. Thank you, Chairman. Same thing. The changes that I'd like to see if this program were to continue is, instead of this money just being a grant, that it'd be a loan, maybe be repaid in 5 years. The citizens of Idaho are having to pay for this. And another stipulation might be that the people that receive this, they stay in Idaho for a number of years after receiving this benefit. So the citizens of Idaho get something back from this. Ostensibly, the purpose of this is for people to get into high-paying jobs. So once they get into high-paying jobs, I think that money should come back to the citizens of Idaho.
Okay, thank you. Representative Garner.
Thank you, Chairman Pickett. The changes I'd like to see made can be made in this RS, and that is that the launch program in my mind was never supposed to send money to people to get master's and doctorate degree, which this RS spells out that it can do in the health program and the engineering program. And so that's why I would love if we can just change that and move it forward.
Okay, Representative Clow.
I appreciate Representative Garner's comment there.
the launch program basically does not allow for degrees that require a post-baccalaureate degree, but it says if there's excess monies, in other words, if they don't have enough applicants, then they could look at the health area and consider some additional baccalaureate degrees. So it's not that the primary distributions, the primary purpose of this is not to support post-baccalaureate degree programs.
Okay. Good discussion, committee. All right. Seeing no further lights, thank you, Representative Miller. Our motion is a substitute motion, which is to return RS 32776 to the sponsor. We'll do a roll call vote, and the secretary will take a roll.
Chairman Pickett.
No.
Representative Hawkins.
No.
Clow.
No.
Mendive.
No.
Ehart.
No.
Vishnevsky.
No.
Garner.
Yes.
Nelson. Sauter.
Yes.
Harris.
No.
Marmon.
No.
Tanner.
No.
Matthias. Church.
Okay, thank you, committee. The vote is 4 in favor and 10 against. So the substitute motion to return to the sponsor has failed. We'll now vote on the original or main motion, which is to introduce RS 32776 and recommend that it be placed on the second reading calendar with the due pass recommendation. The secretary will take a roll.
Chairman Pickett.
Yes.
Representative Hawkins.
Yes.
Clow.
Yes.
Mendive.
Yes.
Ehart.
Yes.
Vishnevsky.
Yes.
Garner.
No.
Nelson. Sauter. Harris.
Yes.
Marmon.
Yes.
Tanner.
Yes.
Matthias. Church.
Okay, thank you, committee. By a vote of 9-5, the motion is carried and the RS will be introduced and recommended to the floor. Thank you, committee. That's our business for today. It is 9:11 a.m. and we will stand adjourned.
This bill, I think, it puts a stake in the ground that says we have a sovereign right to protect what's ours.